everyone, how's it going? Welcome to today's installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. We are here in the '03 Pontiac Grand Am GT with the big bad 3400 Ram Air V6. Today, I'm going to look into something a little bit. I kind of mentioned you guys in the last vlog, which was basically an update vlog on all three of the cars that sit in the driveway 100% of the time. But I mentioned in that video that this Grand Am, I am noticing, and it's getting a little more distinct. I was mentioning to you guys that I am smelling gasoline fumes. I noticed it a little while ago, every now and then, that there would be the smell of, raw gas coming in through like the air vents when the heat is on or the air conditioning's on. Just within the last few days since I have filmed that vlog, whenever this car is at a stop, and like I said, I have the air coming through the vents of the dash one way or another, I smell gasoline. It's getting stronger. The weird thing about it is I don't smell it, I haven't smelled it outside of the car when it's running. I only seem to smell it when it's coming in through any of the vents. So, it's kind of leading me to believe that it is something underneath the hood that is getting sucked into the air, the air box whenever when I have the heat and stuff. So basically, if something is leaking under the hood and it's coming in through the outside air intake for the air box to distribute air to the inside of the car, that's what I'm going with. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind here. I do have an evap line that when I bought this car last year, and when I started working on it, I did notice that one of the evap lines was pretty cracked. And my way to fix that was to wrap it up in tape. Only because if you want to replace that line, it goes all the way underneath the car to the tank. I don't think there's any way to separate it. Could it be coming from that? Most certainly, but I'm going to try to look into a few other things also today. So whether we actually solve the issue in this car or not, we may not, to be honest with you, because I don't have all the resources. We're here at the house. I don't have... the best way to test this, honestly, would be with a smoke machine. I don't have a smoke machine, so we're going to do just a visual inspection of some of the things under the hood that could be leading to the smell of gasoline. And obviously I'm going to smell around. Now you guys can't smell, obviously, on the camera, but I'll have the hood open. I'll start this car up, and I will see if I can smell, any gasoline. Now, this car also does not have a catalytic converter on it at this time, so the exhaust in this car smells pretty rough already, because there's nothing obviously filtering out the pollutants and the smell in the exhaust system. Car's not running rich, car's not running lean. Actually, last time we looked at fuel trim data on this car, it is running pretty much at top notch. So there shouldn't be a smell of raw gasoline going through the exhaust. And like I said, I don't really smell it outside of the car when it's running. So that's why I'm pretty sure it's something under the hood that is doing it. I haven't noticed any gasoline drips in the driveway or anything. Haven't noticed anything leaking under the car that's actually hitting the ground or anything. But with as strong as it's getting, it could be kind of concerning. It could be getting dangerous. I should probably look to see what is going on. So we have the Altel with us. I finally get to maybe use it for some actual diagnostic purposes. I still haven't really played around with this thing a whole lot. It's actually been sitting for a little while. But I do believe we can control some of the evap system components with this, if need be. And we will see what's going on. So I will plug this in, we'll pull the codes up, I will show you what codes we do have. I know we have evap codes, and then we will explore the possibilities of what could possibly be going on, and then we will actually maybe take a look at the stuff under the hood. I thought I brought the keys out here. Apparently I did not. Oh, I set them up on the... There we go. Alright, let's get hooked up and see what's going on. So this is actually like the first time in a while, actually, that we've had to actually look into a concern with the Grand Am. You know, like I've been saying in all of these other vlogs, you know, there really has not been any... Oops, I didn't want that one. There really hasn't been any other issues that I've been really too concerned about, you know, when it comes to this car. It's been really good. But when it comes to gasoline and gasoline vapors, you know, they're really, you know, we probably should look into it. So we have the P0440 evaporative emission system and a P0442 evaporative emission system small leak detected. So the P0442 small leak, a lot of people immediately go straight to the gas cap. Now, yeah, it could be the gas cap, but that is a very small chance actually that it's a gas cap. It might work for you, it might not. This car being 126,663 miles old, it may very well need a gas cap. We can go back there and take a look to see how the seal looks. I do not really think that that is giving me my gasoline issue inside because, well, you know, the filler neck's over there at the back. And like I said, I don't smell anything outside of the car when it's running. The P0440, well, that could be just about anything on this, you know, evaporative emission system. So yeah, now let's go under the hood and I will kind of show you guys around for a sec, and then we'll take a look and see if we see anything out of the ordinary or smell anything out of the ordinary, I guess. Now the way that the evap system works is basically the evap, or the evaporative emission system, is to keep gasoline fumes and gasoline pollutants from entering the atmosphere. So basically, I'm just kind of going into just a quick description. I'm not going to waste my time on really explaining everything, but for the most part, you know, you have the gas tank at the back of the car, and connected from the gas tank, there is what they call a charcoal canister. I don't know if we can see it, maybe. I didn't really want to get on the ground today, but let's see. It's hard to see with the light and stuff. I don't know what side it's on. Let's see if I can see. There's the gas tank. Is it right there? I can't see. It's hard for me to see down here. Is it that guy? I think it's that guy right there. I wish I had a way to get the car off the ground, but I don't. Anyway, so there's a charcoal canister. I think that's it. The charcoal inside said canister kind of neutralizes the gasoline vapors. And there's a vent valve, which I think is right there, somewhere around there. I see the connector. So that's called a vent valve. And what the vent valve does is basically it is normally opened and it relieves the pressure in the tank, I do believe. And once it passes through that canister, that charcoal canister, the vent valve is open and all of the cleaner vapors are released into the atmosphere. However, when you're doing things like filling up, I believe, that vent will close, and what they call up here, there's a purge valve, which is right here, evap purge valve on this car. That opens and it lets the raw fuel into the engine, the raw fumes, and kind of, burns them, recycles them in a way. Normally, about 90% of the time, this should be closed. So it's like this should be closed most of the time, and the vent valve at the back should be open. Unless, of course, the PCM finds, conditions that meet for this thing to open and that to close. It's usually during fill-up. It all goes off of I'm pretty sure, the fuel tank pressure sensor inside the tank. So that's why I am thinking there's something up here, in this area that is leaking raw vapors, and obviously when I'm sitting at a red light, all of those vapors are getting sucked in through the cowl and into the car. Now, we could have other possibilities. There could be an actual gas line leak. Maybe one of my injectors are leaking. We did have to replace that fuel pressure regulator last winter, but it doesn't really, I don't see any evidence of anything leaking off of that line there. So I'm thinking there's something going on with something over here. And like I said, we had a broken line right there. Yeah, so you can see my tape. So this is the evap line to the service port. If I had a smoke machine, I would take this cap off and hook our smoke machine up to this. And then using that scan tool, I think I might be able to do it. We'll take a look. But you would command that you could probably command that they both close. And then if they're closed, you want to seal the system basically. And then once the smoke goes into this port and you have that system sealed off, you'll see some sort of smoke coming from somewhere. And that'll indicate where your leak is. If we had the gas cap, if we opened the gas cap door and just had the gas cap on there, and if it was faulty, once the smoke filled up the entire rest of the fuel system, we would probably see smoke coming out from around the gas cap. But like I said, I don't have a smoke machine, so there's only so much that I can really try to do today. I did just want to make sure that we would maybe see something. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to start it now. It's cold. It has not been running at all since last night. And I'm going to see if I will eventually smell some sort of gasoline smell. I don't smell anything right now. So, let's go ahead and start it up. It's actually really chilly today. The sun is out. It's actually been a gorgeous day. Today's November 1st. I did the yard. I cleaned up the Halloween stuff this morning. I was thinking about washing the cars, but it's chilly. You know, it's about 50 degrees out here, and it's been breezy. So if I even, you know, brought the hose and stuff out, man, I would probably freeze if I got wet. Compressor's getting a little noisy. I have the heat on. Well, not really the heat, but you know, I turned on the defrost. It's in closed loop already. That was quick. Weird. It is warming up pretty fast. Does not take long for this car to really get to operating temperature. Fuel tank pressure sensor is at 1.4, 1.4745 volts. This is a full tank. Fuel tank level remaining between 97 and 98%. So the vent solenoid, like we said, is venting, so that means the rear canister valve is open. I do. And you know what? It is coming from this. It is coming from right around here. I had to get my nose real close to it. So yeah, I didn't really smell anything here around the actual purge valve. But I do smell it right around here. So this I'm gonna have to maybe, I don't know, I might pull it off and maybe try to retape it. I thought that I had to replace, it should come off of there, so I could probably, it's just this little section here, really. So I could probably go to the junkyard or something and maybe actually pull a good one off. I was thinking it didn't come off of this. Like I was gonna have to replace the entire line that goes underneath the car from that service port, but apparently not. So I think that is probably the culprit, is where this line is broken. That does seem to be where I smell those fumes. And yes, that is where I smell it. So, what time is it? It is 3:39. I may have time to drive out to the junkyard. Maybe we will do that. So maybe we really don't have to do a whole lot of testing after all, which is good. Just kind of use our senses. I really did figure that was going to be, it was going to be something over there. You can see now the evap purge is actually on command. So it's like a almost like a duty cycle type thing. So it is, PCM is commanding that it opens up at about 30%. Closed loop, like I said, our fuel trims are pretty much perfect. This car is running really good. It's a little shaky, but I think that is due to our motor mounts. But yes, so yeah, I think I haven't been to the junkyard in months, so I think we'll take a trip out to the junkyard. And I think we'll go ahead and replace that little section. Actually, let me move this over here, because I'm going to try to pull that off first, just to make sure. And then we'll just take the Fusion out there instead of this one. Yeah, that is definitely the culprit. It is very strong right there. So we'll go ahead and move the car, and then we'll take that section off. I don't think we really need our all-tel anymore. We will later. So we'll go ahead and just shut it down for the time being. What do I want to do? Close all that out. Let's unhook it from the car. Now that we got it closed, power off, shutting down. Alright, I'm also just leave the hood up. Try not to rock it too hard. I don't want that, thing to break. Now see, I don't really smell the gasoline now because the hood's up. And all of the fumes are probably escaping the hood area, so it's not being trapped and being forced in to here, if you know what I mean. So let's try to get that little section of line off and see exactly if it's doable. Yeah, I guess so. I honestly could probably just go get any line, any kind of tubing, because you can see it's kind of barbed there. And yeah, that was a pretty big crack that was on this. Let's see if we can... The tape may have actually started failing. I just put electrical tape around there. Yeah, that was the crack. See, over time, these plastic tubing, they get really brittle. So I don't know. I may be better off just going to get maybe more of like a rubber line that's about that diameter, and stick it on the barbs. Because I think that's why I was thinking maybe I was gonna have to replace the whole line. Because trying to pull it off that, off of another Grand Am or other 3400 engine, that's probably going to end in disaster. But if I can get maybe some rubber line or something, maybe we can just use that instead. Alright, let's close it up, and once we get in the car, I will think about what I'm going to do. And we're back. One trip to the car parts store later, and I bought a 1.5 foot section of evap line. I thought maybe they would have like rubber tubing or something, but they don't. So I cut the straight piece there. You can see the straight piece. I cut it to about what the old piece would be, which is sitting in there also. And they're sitting here in hot water because it's still a very firm plastic. I had to deal with this with the Aztec when I had the Aztec, and we were doing the thing underneath the car with the when I had to change the fuel filter. It was a similar kind of line, I believe, and it had the barbs and stuff on it. So it's sitting here in hot water to get soft for a few minutes, and then I should be able to pull that other connector off of that side. I tried doing it without putting it in the water, and next thing you know, I'm going to end up breaking that piece off in there where the barbs are. So we'll try to soften this, and the other piece, it being soft, should be easier to hook up and get the barbs into there. So hopefully that piece of line will be good. Hopefully it's the right size. It's really all that they had. I really was, you know, thinking about going to the junkyard to maybe pull one off another 3400, but at last second I was like, let's just, you know, go get some tubing or stuff. Like I said, I thought maybe it was going to be rubber tubing, but if I wanted to buy a whole thing of rubber tubing, it was like $50 some. I'm not paying $50 some for that little piece of line there. This alone was $15 for the 1.5 feet. So we'll try this first and see what happens. So I'll give it a few more minutes in the hot water and we'll go from there. And it worked. So I just took a blade, cut into it. Actually, it was pretty soft when I had to cut into it. So yeah, the longer that it sits in there, the softer it does get. So let's we'll leave that in there for another few minutes. And it looks like this is safe. There's no damage done to that, so that's reusable. This guy, on the other hand, is cracked on both ends now, so trash. Alright, so as you can see, I got the existing piece onto the new piece. Slid on pretty well. I don't know if it's really necessary to do that. So I should be able to slide this part onto the barbs of the service port. Alright, it's on. Now the other line, the factory line, had a little bend in it, you know, but this this doesn't. So I really hope there's not enough tension on there that's going to break either one of these barbs. So that should be on. It is kind of, it looks like it's not on as far as the other one was, but I can't really grab a good hold of it, and I'm afraid that I'm going to break another line or something, you know. But I mean, it's on there. It is on there. Yes, it just looks like it's not up all the way, but I can't. It's in about here, you know. It's in there far enough. And then this guy clicked in. That one went all the way up, so it seems pretty tight. I think it's gonna be okay. So we'll go ahead and start it up, see if we have our smell of gasoline. Hopefully the back part of that line's not broken. I don't feel anything. I'm talking about behind the service port, you know. So, well, let's go ahead and start it up, see what happens. Not those keys. These keys. I'll give it a few minutes like I did last time. It should still be maybe warm. Yeah, it's still warm from earlier. So yeah, I'll give it some time here, and I'll put my nose back down there and see if I still smell the gasoline. Alright everyone, so it's been a while, a few minutes. I'm happy to report that I no longer smell gasoline fumes coming from this area of the engine compartment. So the only thing I smell, of course, is the raw exhaust of an uncatalyst exhaust system. So this little piece of tubing here was the issue, and I kind of thought that was you know, eventually going to be a problem down the road when I put tape around it. It really sucks that you know, all of these lines, like this line, this is actually part of that. This PCV line here tucks into the right behind the throttle body, and it actually goes into this purge This line here was already replaced. This one here is not factory, so somebody had already done this before, at least with that section of line there. It was the same way with my Aztec when I bought it, and it was actually cracked, so I went out to the junkyard and found a factory one to put there. But this time we just shoved this little, you know, thing here, and the purge is actually commanded on, I believe. I hooked the scan tool back up. Yeah, so it's actually commanded at like 25-26%. So there are gas fumes for sure going through that line, this new line. So if it was still leaking, I'm pretty sure I would have smelled gas by now. So I do believe that is it. Now hopefully with the flex of the engine, I really hope that that line isn't going to break any of these other points, you know what I mean? That's the only downside to this. I can actually feel the pulse going through the line. But the way that flexes, hopefully it'll be just fine. Maybe once the engine actually gets hot, you know, and the heat, maybe it'll make it a little bit softer. So I think that's it. The real test will be when I drive it and you know, see if I actually smell anything coming through the vent. But I think we're good so far. We are good. So what I could do now, you know, just to maybe verify that all those leaks are done, is if I you know, shut this off, I'll go ahead and turn our key back on. I'm gonna go and erase those codes, and you know, then that way, let me just make sure that those were the only two codes in there. Yeah, so evaporative emission, both P0440 and 0442, they're both current, so we'll erase them. There may be other leaks, you know, in this evap system, so they were erased. No fault codes detected. So they probably won't, you know, be set again, unless, you know, like I'm sure the monitors and stuff have to run after so many ignition cycles and such. So if those codes come back, then we'll know for sure that, you know, there's obviously some other issue going on in the evap system. It's so weird driving without a service engine light on in this car. I mean, after a while, it becomes your friend, and then when it's gone, it's almost like you miss it. But, you know, it'll probably come back on for something else. I'm really surprised that the catalytic code was not in there as a current code. So if the evap leak was really all that was being picked up, and it's not picking up that catalytic issue anymore for some reason, the light may not come back on. I don't know, but we'll give it a few drive cycles, and if it makes an appearance, we'll go ahead and give it a good old scan and see what it picks up this time. Alright, so I'm happy to report that I no longer smell it in here. So it's funny how something so small, you know, caused that big of you know, a concern, obviously. Gasoline is not a toy. Yeah, anything that usually smells like gasoline after a while, especially when it was getting stronger, you know, look into it. And in this case, it turned out to be an issue that I figured was going to come up, and it finally did. So, I mean, I'm sitting here now in line at a drive-thru waiting to get some food, and I've been sitting here for a while, and there is no gasoline aroma at all, so that's good. That is a good thing. Alright, so here we are, we're at home. Still no check engine light or service engine light. Everything seems to be doing good. I haven't smelled any you know, fuel vapors coming in through the vents. So yeah, if there happens to be a leak anywhere else, I'm sure after a few drives, you know, the light will come back and we'll have codes. The P0440 could have been anything in the evaporative system. It could have been the actual purge valve solenoid, maybe, you know, need to be replaced. Could have been the vent solenoid. Could have been a leak somewhere else, but from there to there. Could have been something in the fuel tank itself, maybe, like the pressure sensor or something. Yeah, we got kind of lucky with that one, at least this time around anyway. Just this piece of line that had a crack that I attempted to fix at one point, and I think it did okay for a while, because I really wasn't smelling, you know, the fuel, and then maybe the, you know, the tape was getting weak or slipping, and then yeah, apparently it set a code, and then I started smelling the vapors, you know, over the course of you know, some time, and when it got as strong as it was getting over the last few days, it's time to really look into it. But that's it. So the P0440 gone, P0442 also gone, and we will keep an eye out for the service engine light for the next thing to go wrong. If you guys did enjoy this vlog, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, check out teespring.com/store/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. That's all that I got. I'm going to go in the house now and eat my quesadilla. I will see you guys next time. Thank you again for watching. Take care.